when they've got
could never even imagine. Not only do they want to strip what remaining rights they have, we have to say to people, they're letting those at the top off the hook. So let's say this to people. Who is responsible for the mess this country is in? Is it the Polish fruit picker? Is it the Nigerian cleaner? Is it the Indian nurse? Or is it the bankers who plunged this country into economic? Is it the tax dodgers who are hoarding £25 billion each and every year? Is it the poverty-paying bosses who have left people languishing unable to themselves? Is it the private landlords who are milking the system and charging the government? Those are the people responsible for the mess that this country is in. Now friends, all of the people at the top are trying to turn against each other with this politics of envy. So we must have a message of hope, of courage and of solidarity. That is what today is. Added more debt in 4 years than Labour did in 13. They've said they'd wipe out the deficit, they'll be lucky to get through half. They've given us the longest, worst so-called economic recovery since the 19th century. But that's not what this was about. This was an excuse to push policies they always wanted to get away with. The handing off of our NHS to their tax-dodging
in private healthcare firms, the dismantling of social security, the attack on workers' rights. But friends, this is the country they are building, a country where most people in poverty are in work, earning their poverty day after day.
Very, very beautiful indeed. Thank you so much for coming out in so many and such numbers. And we're here with an important message for the government. And our message is that it wasn't the poor who caused the economic crisis. It wasn't people on job seekers allowance who brought down the banks. It wasn't people with disabilities who were wasting billions speculating on risky financial markets. And it's not immigrants who are thieving billions in bonuses. So that's why we're here to say, stop punishing the poor! And we're here to say, end this cruel and counterproductive austerity. Because now, more than ever, we should be standing up to be counted. Now more than ever, to make common cause. Because the government's cuts are hitting the poor hardest and women most of all. We need a coordinated movement to better challenge the pernicious bedroom tax, to oppose cuts to job seekers' allowance, and to make the case loudly and clearly to everybody that it is not the fault of young people that they're not in work, it's the fault of government. What about cutting down on tax evasion and tax avoidance and let's scrap Trident? Let's change the ideology that says that public is bad and private is good. Let's say that we can make a difference. All of you being here today does make a difference. Thank you so much for being here.
In Europe, we are the fourth biggest military spender in the world, but we cannot provide for the basic things that people need. We live in a society where poverty has doubled in the last 30 years, where children go to bed hungry, where people do not have adequate houses to live in. And we are saying that war is not justified, and it is part of the same people who give us austerity who also give us war. And I was disgusted last week to see Tony Blair back on our television screen. Disgusted to hear him justify. They suddenly say there's a mess in Iraq. Well, who caused the mess in Iraq? They did. What's the answer to the mess in Iraq? We're going to bomb more people. That's their only answer. I'm sick of these liars who've taken us to war in the past. So please, do everything that you can to support the Stop the War Coalition, the anti-war movement. Do everything you can to link these issues up. And on August the 30th, we will be demonstrating in Newport in South Wales, where the NATO leaders are coming to Wales to tell us that we all need to spend more money on so-called defence because of the threat of war in Ukraine.